Hello everybody out there in YouTube. This is a repair video for the sharp notes on our Yamaha MX88. This has been a great mid-level keyboard that we use for our church. Unfortunately, not too long ago, we were experiencing a broken sharp on the C sharp. A note is just completely dislodged. This was actually at middle C, sharp above middle C. I moved them and ordered the new parts from Synthesizer out of Texas. Very helpful folks. I think I paid $18 and change. All of these, all of these sharps are grouped together. You don't buy them separately. What I found online was not super helpful. No one has a video out there. So we're going to run through this hopefully pretty quickly to give you an idea of what it takes to replace these keys for your do-it-yourselfers out there. I was an aircraft electrician in the Navy. I was an alarm installer, service technician, and I've installed control access systems in state buildings. So I have a little bit of electrical experience, not a whole lot, but I think enough to get me by. Anyway, hopefully this video will help you out. So I have turned this around. The keys are back towards me here. And when I looked online, they recommended taking out all the screws on the back. When I first tried this, I just took out the screws on the end and around the perimeter, thinking that the top would easily come off. But that's not the case. You literally have to take out every one of these screws, except for you do not have to remove that screw. You can see it's actually attached to a bar under the bottom here, and the one on the other end right there. You do not have to take those out. So when you take these screws out, I recommend that you group them together, and we'll show you that in a minute. All right, now that all the screws have been removed around the perimeter and the inside, I set them in little piles. Some of these screws are in different sizes, so I just set them in front, back, sides, center, in individual piles, just to remember where they all go back together. Then I go around to the back side and I will grab the keyboard, and the keyboard itself is attached to the top. It's exactly backward from what you would think. So I'm going to lift that out and then we'll continue. All right, so we have lifted the bottom off of the keyboard, and as you can see, there are some wire connectors from the motherboard, which is in along with the keyboard. And so these will have to be disconnected before you separate the bottom from the keyboard and the top. Okay? So we're gonna go ahead and undo those plugs, and we'll set the bottom aside and we'll continue. All right, so as you can see, we've undone these plugs. There are some wiring harness holder wires, so you just want to remove those and let the wiring harness go free. So there's one here, one here. You just simply, there you go. And there's one here. So we want to now remove the bottom away from the entire keyboard. All right, the key bed is attached to the top by a series of small screws. There's one there, and there's another one there, right there, and so on. So all down there, and then you have to remove, this is actually on the front end of the keyboard. There are these metal strips which keep the keyboard attached to the top. So we're going to remove those and set them aside and lift the keyboard out. And what we're going to do is this strip here, there is a harness protector or holder. This brown fiberglass strip, there's one screw here, one screw there. You'll want to remove that, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take the keyboard, we're going to lift it out and turn it upside down just like we did the bottom. All right, there you go, hold on. All right, so we have removed all the screws, removed the retainer for this strip, and let's take a look at our keys, our broken keys. This one, which was above middle C before I moved it, you can see it's completely broken off. And this one right here was getting ready to go. We have some big guys in church that play, and when they play, they really play. Anyway, so all these 5 sharp notes are connected together by this one strip that's on top of your natural notes. So we're going to go ahead and undo that, and then we'll take it off. The procedure is you undo the screws, you lift up, and then you slide the whole assembly forward before you can lift it out. Okay? All right, let's see if I can do this one-handed. There you go. So I lifted it up, and as you can see, all the natural notes and the other notes kind of come out together. So you have to pull it forward because there's arms underneath. I'll get this out and I'll show you what it looks like underneath. So basically, I just lifted up the back where I undid the screws, and I slid it forward to get from underneath those holders there. As you can see on the underside here, there are little holes in the end of these keys which slip onto the bottom mechanism there. Okay, so all you have to do is physically take this apart. It takes 2 hands, but it's not difficult to get the parts apart. To give you a little view there, these 2 sets of natural notes and the sharps all stack up on top of each other and then fit into the key bed. So we're going to replace our broken set. We ordered a new set from Centaur out of Texas. I think you can see their address there. And I think the total charge for shipping and the parts were $29.90. When I called a reputable technician in the Los Angeles area, they wanted $270 for the parts and the labor, which honestly, that's not too bad. I'm just cheap, and it's our church's money, not mine. So I just decided to handle it myself. Just a side note here, I will be using some silicone grease on the new part where it is operated in the key bed. So just another little view there. As you can see, all of these are just stacked right on top of each other. And as I said before, all the sharps come in one piece. All right, so we're going to slide this in, and hopefully it all goes back together. So when putting this back in, you want to lay the front of the keys down first, and those will slide up into position, then let the back drop into place. And as you can see, it's all sitting level. You want to check those. All right, so we're going to replace the screws and reverse engineer this, and hopefully it will all go back together. So we have lifted the key bed back into the top, and we're getting ready to screw it back down. Just a couple things. I use an electric drill to remove the screws. I use it to put the screws back, but not to tighten the screws. You do not want to strip this plastic out. Also, on the front side here, for these mounting screws, you'll notice underneath, and I don't know if you can see them, there's a little, you can see there's looks like a little tower, and that's where the screw goes into. So you can find those along the front side of the key bed, and that's how you tell. There's one to the right there. That's how you tell where the screws go. All right. So we'll get this back together. I use when I handle the key bed, I use this rail to hold it. When I pull it out, I put my hands in here, and it just lifts right out, and then folds down. I put this on 2 cushions here at our church. I don't recommend putting this down on something hard. Anyway, so there you have it, our sharp note repair on our Yamaha MX88. If you're good with your hands and you have a little bit of electrical ability, and you're good with tools, it's not too bad. It's really just a little time consuming. If you have any apprehension about your ability with hand tools or working with electrical things, I would highly recommend finding a certified Yamaha technician to service your keyboard. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope this was helpful for those of you who are do-it-yourselfers. Thanks a lot so much.